Hello everyone. Continuing our discussion on event-driven architecture, in this video I will provide an example of how to create an event producer and an event consumer. If you are starting development with microservices, I will leave a link for you to watch a video where I explain in a simple and direct manner what microservices are, and I also clarify the difference between an event producer and an event consumer. To develop our example, I will be using Java Spring Boot. As a message broker, I will use the Apache Kafka running in Docker for the development environment and the Azure Event Hubs for Kafka for the production environment. If you need help with Apache Kafka, watch the video I will provide in the card in this video. And if you need assistance with Azure Event Hub for Kafka, I will leave another card for you in this video as well. With Kafka and Azure Event Hubs operational, let's start in development. We'll begin by creating a new project in Spring Initializer. So open your browser and go to start.spring.io. I will select the Gradle Groove and the Java. The current Spring Boot version is 3.3.1. For the group, I use the con.program with Geddes. And for artifact, put producer. I want to change the description. The current LTS version of JDK is 21. I will add two dependencies, Spring Web and the Lombok. Let's download our producer project. Now in the artifact, renaming the producer to consumer and download it as well. To develop our examples, I will be using IntelliJ IDEA. I have opened my producer project. In the build Gradle file, we need to add three more libraries. The first one is SpringDoc Open API Start Web MVC UI. The second library is Spring Cloud Start Stream Kafka. And the last one is Spring Cloud Azure Start Integration Event Hubs. Click on the Load Gradle Change button. I will leave the URL for each one in the video description. It's important to highlight that I am using 2.6.0 to SpringDoc Open API and 4.1.3 for Spring Cloud Start Stream Kafka and 5.14.0 to Spring Cloud Azure Started Integration. The next step is to create two hour classes in our project. The first one is Kafka Producer. The second one is Producer Controller. The latter is to facilitate send events through a controller. In the Kafka Producer, let's create a Kafka template property. Final private Kafka template. In the constructor, we will inject the Kafka template. Now let's create a send event. Public void send event. Receive a payload as a parameter. Feature equals Kafka template send. In my case, the topic name is test topic, and this send a payload parameter. Now we will create a validation to check if our event was sent. Feature when complete. If exception equals null. Here we just show a login info if the event is sent successfully. Okay. For that we will need set slf4j annotation, log.info, event sent successfully, else log error to send event. We also set our Kafka producer class with the component annotation. Here in the constructor, I will delete this private keyword, okay? And here it's necessary finish the instruction. Okay. Next, to open the producer controller, it's necessary add the REST controller annotation and the slf4j as well. Create a property to our Kafka producer and inject in the constructor. Now let's create our send message endpoint. Kafka producer send event test message. Add a post mapping annotation. Set the send as a name to our endpoint, and our producer is almost finished. We're going to create an application YAML file. And we can delete this file generated by Spring Initializr. Under the application.yaml file, set the port of our producer to 881, and we're gonna configure the Swagger path Spring doc Swagger UI path / Swagger UI, and I will copy the Kafka configuration content for here. I will leave this configuration in this video description for you, okay? Now let's run the producer project. Producer started successfully. In the browser, access localhost :881 / Swagger UI. You will see the endpoint we created. Click the try it out button, then click execute. The event was sent successfully to Apache Kafka. The next step is to create the event consumer. I have opened my consumer project, and in the build Gradle, we need to add 2 more libraries. They are the same as those in our producer project. Copy only Spring Cloud Started Stream Kafka and Spring Cloud Azure Start Integration Event Hubs. Load your libraries. And let's create a Kafka consumer class. Add the service annotation, and we will use slf4j to show the logs. And let's create a listen method with a string payload parameter. And for our consumer working is very simple. Add Kafka listener Annotation, set your topic, in my case is test topic, and define your group ID, in my case is test group, and under the method I just print a log info, event received, payload. Okay, now we need to create an application YAML file. I will delete these files because that's not necessary. Define the server port as 882, and now I'll copy the Kafka configuration content. I'll include this configuration in the description of video for you as well, okay? Basically, I set my Kafka server. If you are not running your Kafka server in localhost colon 1992, change here, okay? Now let's run the consumer project. Once the service starts, we should see the event sent by the producer project. I will stop because I set the topic name wrong. The correct is test topic. And let's run again. That's great. We can see the event sent by producer project. Event received test message. Our consumer is working. Now we will make a simple change to use Azure Event Hub for Kafka. I will stop the consumer project and go back to producer project. Open application.yaml file and comment it. I will copy the Azure Event Hub for Kafka configuration. And here, Bootstrap server, change it to the host name of Azure Event Hub for Kafka. Copy host name and paste here. And it's necessary add the 1993 port. And in password, it's necessary change it to the connection string of your Azure Event Hub for Kafka. For that, click in Shared Access Policy option, and here you can see connection string primary key. Copy it and paste here. Now let's run the producer project, and we will send a new event. Okay, event sent successfully. Go back to our consumer project. In application YAML, comment it, and I will copy the configuration for consumer. Here in the Bootstrap server, change the variable to the same host server in the producer project. And change the password variable as well. Now let's run our consumer project. The consumer project started successfully, and we can see the event received test message. To finish, I will go back to producer project and I will send a new event. We can see that our producer project and our consumer project working successfully. If you liked the content, I ask you to like this video, and if you are not yet subscribed, I ask you to subscribe and turn on notification, as I will be posting new videos soon. Thank you.